It's easy to feel overburdened by life's hectic pace, but we can find serenity with the ancient wisdom known as Buddhism. As we study these ageless lessons together, welcome friends. Buddhism originated in ancient India. It tells us that material possessions and a never-ending pursuit of pleasure are not the paths to true happiness. Rather, it originates from within us. These days, life can feel very hectic. We always appear to be running around and our minds never seem to stop. But fear not, Buddhist teachings offer us 6 basic principles to keep us strong and at ease even in the midst of chaos. We will examine each of these 6 concepts in detail. They are similar to unique instruments that can support us during difficult times and bring inner serenity. These lessons teach us the art of living better lives, from seeing that everything changes to practicing kindness toward ourselves and ourselves. So let's both take a deep breath and get started on this voyage. We'll look at how Buddhism can make us feel more content and at ease, no matter what challenges we face in life. First principle: transience. Temporary state, anicca. The one thing that is consistent in life is impermanence. Everything is subject to change, including the people we interact with, the seasons, and our emotions. Nothing remains constant over time. It's a major component of what gives life its essence. It is easier for us to let go of attempting to cling too tightly to things when we truly realize that everything is constantly changing. We begin to realize that neither the happy times nor the bad times will remain indefinitely. Rather of resisting change, we can learn to surf its waves. Being aware of impermanence might help us feel more at ease and free, because it prevents us from becoming overly connected to things. It can be as easy as seeing the beauty of each moment without attempting to cling on to it. To embrace impermanence in our daily life. We may work on being open to whatever comes our way and letting go of our expectations. Given that nothing lasts forever, we should attempt to flow with change rather than fighting it. We can discover happiness in the here and now and let go of concerns about the future by accepting impermanence. The path of life is one of continuous change. Everything is changing all around us from the time of our birth until the day we pass away. Relationships change with the seasons, and our own bodies and minds go through a lot of changes. The realization that nothing in life is permanent is known as impermanence, or anicca. In Buddhism, impermanence may appear to be a frightening idea at first. After all, we frequently yearn for our lives to be stable and certain. We cling to things, people, and habits we know well in the hopes that they will provide us a sense of security. But holding too fast to the delusion of permanence can cause pain when life's inevitable changes take place. We might experience overwhelming, nervous, or disappointing feelings when faced with a sudden change in circumstances, the death of a loved one, or the breakup of a relationship. However, what if we could change our viewpoint and come to accept impermanence as a normal and essential aspect of life? What if we could learn to embrace change and find freedom and serenity in its ups and downs rather than fighting against it? Realizing that change is something to be welcomed and accepted rather than something to be dreaded or avoided is the first step toward understanding impermanence. Similar to how the seasons change smoothly from one to the next, our lives' moments also unfold in a constantly shifting dance. We can start to let go of our attachment to predetermined results and learn to appreciate the beauty of each moment as it arises when we accept this fact. Being able to separate ourselves from fleeting events is one of the most fundamental ways that knowing impermanence can aid us. It's simple to get dependent on life's transient pleasures in a world when messages of quick fulfillment and perpetual consumerism assault us. The rush of a brand new romance, the exhilaration of a shopping trip, or the fleeting high of a social media like are all examples of experiences that are intrinsically transient and that, when they end, can only cause pain. We can learn to appreciate the fleeting character of our experiences without becoming unduly connected to them by developing an awareness of impermanence. Knowing that happy and joyful moments are ephemeral, we can cherish them while they last and let them go with grace when they do. In the same manner, we can remind ourselves that tough times and painful experiences are fleeting and will soon give way to happier times. There are several useful approaches to accept impermanence in our day-to-day existence. Being mindful, the skill of being totally present in each moment without passing judgment, is one easy practice. We can learn to recognize the ever-changing nature of our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without becoming enmeshed in them by practicing mindfulness. We can also work on letting go of our attachment to predetermined results and expectations, letting life flow naturally without attempting to direct or influence it. Gratitude is a powerful habit that can help you accept impermanence. We might develop a greater sense of thankfulness for the priceless moments we have been given by realizing and accepting the transient nature of the people, events, and belongings in our lives. Even the smallest pleasures can bring us happiness and contentment when we approach life with an attitude of gratitude, understanding that they are not meant to endure forever. In the end, accepting impermanence means learning to live in balance with life's inherent cycles. It's about letting go and accepting that everything that happens to us is a lesson, a challenge, and eventually a step toward our growth. We can discover serenity, liberation, and an immense sense of happiness in every moment when we let go of our attachment to certain results and accept the transient character of reality. Second principle, detachment. Aloofness, or aparigraha. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of non-attachment, or aparigraha, is the process of relinquishing our attachment to objects, people, and experiences. It entails letting go of yearning and desire and releasing ourselves from the belief that we must own or have control over other people or things in order to be happy. Being non-attached is a deep acceptance of life's impermanence and the understanding that true fulfillment originates internally, not externally. It does not imply detachment or apathy. On the other side, a large portion of our misery stems from attachment. When we get too attached to particular results, items, or people, we expose ourselves to disappointment and annoyance when things don't work out as we had hoped. When we start to depend on other people or things for our enjoyment and sense of value, attachment breeds dependency. This attachment can result in an endless cycle of wanting as we look for new things or experiences to try and fill a hole we think we have in ourselves. But no matter how much we have, the feeling of contentment is ephemeral, and we are left yearning for more in an unending search for fulfillment. It takes a mental adjustment and the willpower to let go of deeply rooted thought and behavior patterns to cultivate non-attachment. One method is mindfulness, which enables us to be aware of our feelings and ideas without becoming caught up in them. We can become more conscious of our attachment patterns and learn how to let go of them with compassion and understanding by engaging in mindfulness practices. Gratitude and appreciation for what we currently have is another tactic. We can learn to be satisfied and lessen our need to always seek for more by concentrating on the plenty in our lives rather than what is lacking. Furthermore, practicing meditation can be a very effective way to develop non-attachment. We can learn to be detached from the whims of the mind by sitting quietly and seeing the transient nature of our feelings and thoughts. With time, this practice can assist us in releasing our attachment to particular results and discovering a more profound calm and composure. In the end, developing non-attachment is a lifetime process that calls for tolerance, self-awareness, and an openness to accepting uncertainty. More peace, joy, and freedom can be experienced in our life when we break free from the cycle of wanting and suffering and discover contentment inside ourselves, instead than clinging to outside sources of happiness. Third principle, the middle path. Madhyama Pratipad, the middle way, or Madhyama Pratipad in Buddhist philosophy, promotes a life that is well-balanced. It invites us to steer clear of the dangers of extreme pleasure or severe asceticism by navigating life's extremes with wisdom and moderation. The middle way instructs us to embrace neither extreme self-denial nor excessive luxury, but rather to establish a harmonic balance between opposing impulses. Extremes can take the shape of excess or deprivation, but they frequently result in suffering and an imbalance. Excessive consumption of material goods or sensory pleasures may provide us with short-term joy, but in the end, they only serve to keep us caught in a vicious cycle of desire and unhappiness. However, if we deprive ourselves of requirements or fundamental luxuries in the name of asceticism or spiritual purity, we could end ourselves depleted of energy and unable to participate completely in life. Reaching for the extremes can cause us to lose touch with our actual needs and wants, which can cause physical, emotional, and spiritual discord. If we stray from the middle way too far, we run the risk of becoming disconnected from the depth and variety of the human experience and succumbing to strict rules or dogma. Self-awareness and mindfulness are the first steps towards finding balance and moderation in day-to-day living. Examining our routines and actions might help us identify any areas where we might be veering too much in one direction or the other. By practicing mindfulness, we can become more conscious of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and learn how to handle life's obstacles calmly and wisely. Using moderation in all aspects of your life is another way to achieve balance. This is about enjoying life's joys in moderation and with attention, not about denying ourselves of pleasure or indulgence completely. We may steer clear of excess and develop a stronger sense of contentment and well-being by exercising moderation. Finding perspective and balance in our lives can also be achieved by practicing thankfulness. It is possible to develop a sense of satisfaction and lessen the need to always strive for more by learning to appreciate the wealth of blessings, both large and tiny, in our life. Ultimately, it takes patience and self-compassion to discover moderation and balance in day-to-day life. Being human means that we will all err and fall along the way. We can grow and change toward a more harmonic and balanced way of life by being kind and understanding to ourselves, even in the face of our faults. Fourth principle, empathy. In kindness, karuna. In Buddhist philosophy, fostering empathy and kindness toward others is the practice of compassion, or karuna. It entails acknowledging other people's suffering and reacting to it with a genuine wish to make them feel better. Beyond simple pity or sympathy, compassion is a deep connection that aims to encourage and support others who are going through difficult times. Being compassionate improves our own well-being in addition to that of others. Our sense of connection and belonging in the world is strengthened when we show compassion and empathy to others. Our ability to transcend the constrictions of ego and self-centeredness is facilitated by compassion, which cultivates an attitude of generosity and openness. We develop a stronger feeling of empathy and compassion for ourselves by placing ourselves in other people's shoes and understanding their hardships. According to research, cultivating compassion can benefit our mental and physical health in a variety of ways. It can lower blood pressure, strengthen the immune system, and lessen stress and anxiety. As we feel the deep satisfaction that comes from positively impacting the lives of others, compassion also fosters emotions of fulfillment and contentment. In our everyday lives, we can practice compassion in a variety of ways. To begin with, mindfulness entails paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and experiences while remaining judgment-free in the moment. By practicing mindfulness, we can increase our awareness of other people's suffering and react to it with kindness and compassion. Compassion can also be developed via deeds of generosity and service. Helping others in need not only lessens their suffering but also increases our own compassion when we give of our time, effort, or resources. Every act of kindness, no matter how big or small, makes a difference for the betterment of society. It can be as simple as lending a helping hand to someone in need or volunteering at a nearby soup kitchen. Furthermore, we can develop compassion by practicing loving kindness meditation. In this meditation, we repeat aloud words of kindness and compassion for both ourselves and other people. We may spread positivity and healing far beyond our own selves by developing feelings of love, kindness, and compassion in our hearts. In the end, developing compassion is a practice that needs dedication, intention, and work. We can change our relationships, communities, and the outside world by prioritizing compassion in our life. This will result in a society that is more loving and compassionate toward all living things. Fifth principle, consciousness. Sati, be mindful. The practice of mindfulness, sometimes referred to as sati in Buddhist philosophy, is being aware of the present moment. It entails intentionally focusing our judgment-free attention on our ideas, feelings, sensations, and environment. By encouraging us to give the current moment our whole attention, mindfulness enables us to live more fully and truthfully. Research has shown that practicing mindfulness can lower stress and improve mental clarity. We can release ourselves from the hold of rumination and concern by focusing on the here and now. This enables us to let go of regrets about the past and worries about the future. In spite of the difficulties we face in life, mindfulness enables us to develop a sense of composure and inner serenity. Numerous advantages for both physical and mental health have been linked to regular mindfulness practice, according to research. It can lessen anxiety and depressive symptoms as well as cortisol, the stress hormone, in the body. It has also been demonstrated that mindfulness increases feelings of general well-being, strengthens emotional regulation, and increases attention and focus. To develop present moment awareness, we can integrate a variety of useful mindfulness practices into our daily routines. A basic breathing technique is mindful breathing, in which we focus on the feelings of the breath as it enters and exits the body. We can ground ourselves in the here and now and still our racing minds by paying attention to the rhythm of our breathing. Body scanning is an additional mindfulness practice in which we methodically focus on various body areas, noting any tension or sensations that emerge without passing judgment. This exercise encourages relaxation and stress reduction by assisting us in becoming more aware of our bodies and releasing physical tension. Another effective mindfulness practice is mindful eating, which entails focusing on the flavor, texture, and aroma of food as well as the entire eating experience. By taking our time and enjoying every mouthful of food, we may overcome our mindless eating habits and develop a deeper appreciation for the nourishment that food brings. We can also include mindfulness into our regular routines by walking, doing the dishes, or taking the bus to work. Even the most routine tasks can be turned into chances for mindfulness and present if we give them our undivided attention and engage with them fully. In the end, mindfulness is about developing the ability to completely experience our life and meet each moment with curiosity and openness. Sixth principle, acknowledgement. The act of recognizing and accepting reality as it is known as acceptance. It entails letting go of judgment and resistance in order to fully embrace life's experiences. Acceptance means facing reality head-on with bravery and compassion, not submitting ourselves to our circumstances or suffering in silence. Developing self-compassion is another effective strategy for fostering acceptance. We can learn to accept and be compassionate with our flaws and vulnerabilities if we are kind and sympathetic to ourselves. We build a foundation of inner strength and resilience when we offer ourselves love and acceptance instead of passing judgment on ourselves. In the end, learning to accept oneself is a lifetime process that calls for perseverance, dedication, and self-awareness. We can find serenity and satisfaction in the always shifting terrain of life and widen our hearts to the totality of life's experiences by practicing acceptance in our lives. The process of delving into the profound teachings of Buddhism. We have uncovered 6 tenets that provide ageless wisdom for navigating the ups and downs of life. We have studied impermanence, which reminds us that life is temporary non-attachment, which teaches us to let go of cravings and desires, the middle way, which points us in the direction of moderation and balanced compassion, which invites us to feel other people's pain, mindfulness, which encourages us to be in the present moment, and acceptance, which asks us to accept reality as it is. I urge you to accept these ideas and apply them to your everyday life as we get to the end of our journey. Whether you're experiencing difficulties or delight, these lessons provide priceless direction for achieving more resilience, serenity, and contentment. You may handle life's challenges with grace and wisdom by practicing impermanence, non-attachment, the middle way, compassion, mindfulness, and acceptance. This will help you develop a greater feeling of harmony and well-being both inside yourself and with the outside world. Finally, let us not forget the philosophy of Buddhism's transformational power. These age-old lessons have the power to enlighten our way by providing insightful understandings of the nature of existence and the human condition. May these values serve as a beacon for us on our path, illuminating the dark and pointing us in the direction of a life filled with more joy, compassion, and understanding. Join us as we explore the depths of the soul together by subscribing to Soul Journey channel for more insightful content on mindfulness, spirituality, and personal development.